Welcome back to another episode on A Dose of Nikki. Thank you once again to my listeners for joining me every week to hear another topic or phrase. I am freshly back from having a wonderful time on the lovely island of Jamaica celebrating life. During that stay, I must say I really appreciate the magnificent creations. Oh my goodness. The beautiful blue-green body of water, clean, warm air, blue skies, the various animals that walk the earth and fly above it. Oh my goodness. Waking up to an ocean view and watching those pelicans glide through the air and dive down to get that catch for the day was so exhilarating. Oh, well received. I mean, really refreshing, a great refreshing experience. And I look forward to celebrating life throughout the year and years to come. Just wanted to share that with you. It's beautiful. Now, this brings me to the topic of the week, validation. And what does validation mean? Now, before we get into validation, we must first begin with the word valid. And valid means having a sound basis in logic or fact. As the kids say, facts. The kids always say facts, facts when they agree with you, right? Now, the word validation has multiple meanings. It boils down to the action of checking or proving the accuracy of something. Now, for the purpose of this episode, we will focus on the recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are worthwhile or valid. Let's say this again. We will focus on the recognition or affirmation that a person or their feelings or opinions are worthwhile or valid. Basically, telling the truth, right? Preaching the truth. Have you ever known someone that required validation? Have you experienced a situation where the person involved required validation? Or have you ever required validation? I want you to think about that. It's kind of interesting when you think about it. Some point in our lives, we have all experienced this validation requirement. And let's delve into it. So, of course, you know me, I have a story to tell. It's a pretty interesting one at that. I was minding my own business. Now, this is something that's a prelude to every story that I tell. When I'm talking to my girlfriends, we always say, I was minding my own business. In this case, I was sitting in the laundromat, waiting for my clothes to finish washing, right? And I know some of you are wondering, like, why does she have a washer? Why didn't she have a washer and dryer in her home? And that's just the realness of the show, just like everyone else, starting from humble beginnings. The goal is for me not to have to go to the laundromat again to avoid this situation I'm going to tell you about and explain. So soon I won't be telling the laundromat story unless I'm going to do comforters or something like that. And hopefully the machine I get will be big enough to handle it. So anyway, I go to walk past this woman to look at the time on my machine I was using. And she looks at me and goes, I went to the woman up front, and she's referring to the woman that works at the laundromat. And this person at the laundromat is responsible for assisting you with any issues and providing you with any change, or if people drop off clothes, she washes the clothes or whatever, whoever's scheduled to do that. And that's what she did. I'm just giving you a full picture of what's going on. So this woman proceeds to say to me, so I go to her and hand her a $20 bill for change. And she gives me back the change and puts it on the counter. I didn't give her the money on the counter. I gave it to her in her hands. This is what she says. So I took the $20 out of her hand and went to the store to get my own change. And when I took the money back, she called me stupid. So I'm like, oh boy, here we go. Deep sigh. Oh boy. I really don't want to hear this now or be involved. That's not what I really want to do. I just want to wash my clothes and go home. Okay? Now, you will see throughout this podcast experience of ours that I encounter many people who want to talk to me, strangers, okay? You will find that. So, just letting you know. And back to the story. So, I'm like, okay. She proceeds to go in. She goes in. She says, yeah, because these Hispanic people think they are cute, putting the money on the counter. She thought she was being funny. I'm not going to tolerate that. Stupid. I'm far from stupid. I graduated from college. Oh, yeah, it gets better, guys. It gets better. She proceeds to take out her phone and show me her graduation picture. Oh my goodness. I said, what is going on here? She is in the ceremony, at the ceremony, in the cap and gown. So whoever went to the graduation must have taken the picture from above to show. And she, of course, as they should. That's their moment. Not, I don't understand. Why am I pulled in? I'm totally done. Okay? You can stick a fork in me at this point because I'm going, oh no. This is just going too far. I just want to wash my clothes and go about my business. I don't want any drama. I want to mind my business. What do you do? What do you guys say? So me being me, I go, well, congratulations on graduating. That's a huge feat. That's a really huge feat. Good for you. And I try to walk away. She goes, thank you. She's proud. Thank you. And I don't know what they think. People think. She goes on to say this, right? Because I'm saying to myself, I just want to get away. She goes on to tell me how people think that she's Hispanic and her family's from the South, and she snatches her hood and her hat off her head, and she shows me who she really is so I can see her clearly. Like, I don't understand why we're going through all of this and what this has to do with the $20 in change. I don't understand. So finally I get away. I finally get away. I go to sit down and she begins to speak loud now. She's talking loud so that the woman who's working in the laundromat could hear her. Right? The woman is ignoring her. She's not truly ignoring her. She's just not giving her eye contact, and she's just going about her business, doing what she's doing, working, right? Right? So this is what's going on, right? So then the woman goes, yeah, because I'm not stupid. Guess what the woman starts to do? The worker. She she goes, shut up. And she's putting the clothes in there. She said, you are stupid. And she's doing this back and forth like that, right? And I'm going, oh my goodness, this is insane. You cannot make this up. And of course, she's getting under the woman, the customer's skin, okay? Because the woman can't convince the woman that she's not stupid. Remember that now. She wants her to know that she's not stupid. She was going off about this, right? She got so upset, she told the woman, let's go outside. She was ready to get physical with the woman. The woman just looked at her and walked away. Okay? I said, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. The woman, the customer, was looking for this worker to validate her. She gave the other woman, the worker, control, power over her to validate her success, her intelligence level. Can you believe this? And people, honestly speaking, just because a person graduates from college does not make them 100% smart, okay? I just want to say that. I went to college, and I know people who did not, who can run circles around me. You know what I mean? So I'm not sure why the customer was pulling out her black card to validate her intelligence to this stranger. So my mind started really to think deeply about this. Like KRS once said, I think very deeply. If you know anything about hip hop, you know KRS-One. Just putting a little throwback into it. So wow, I'm sitting there like, wow, this woman is really insecure. Now, granted, the worker should not have called her stupid. However, the customer's action of snatching the money out of her hand triggered the worker to call her stupid, call the act stupid. Now, if you think about the worker's action, when she put the money on the counter, it actually might be a practice to ensure the customer sees all of the change to confirm, validate that they got all their money back, right? So this, to me, is all about perception. And because the customer felt insulted, she went deep. She attacked the woman's ethnicity, not to mention the other customers who also might have been Hispanic, Latin based. They heard the ranting, you know? The biggest question is, why did she need the worker to validate her intelligence? Why? And I wrap it up to insecurity. Poor thing. Now let's talk about us. Have you ever required someone else to validate you? If you think about it, if you work, do you look for validation from your manager or your coworkers? Do you? Do you look for validation from your parents? Maybe your spouse or your significant other or your friends? What about that? Do you look for validation from others? Period. Are you looking for that golden award, the award of achievement from other people? I need us to understand that this comes from within. The reward is from within. You are not a parking ticket you received from a parking garage after satisfying the bill. And in order to leave the garage, you have to show proof that the ticket was paid. That is what the young lady did. She showed proof of her graduation with her graduation picture that validated that she was not stupid because she graduated from college. Now let's think about that in our lives. We can agree that at some point we showed proof to validate us when others may have falsely accused you of something. You look for the other person to agree with your proof. See, it's not true. It's not true. I'm not like that. I have proof. See. That's what you are saying. It's not true. I need you to validate me. That's what we're doing. Are we crazy? That's out of control. Why do we give others control over us, power over us? And if you know in this scenario that you are not stupid, why do you need for the other person to validate it? It's like walking down the street, right? You know that the location you're going to is on the left and the other person is screaming it's on the right. Do you need that person that is incorrect to validate you are correct? I don't think so. You just go to the left like, okay, well, you go to the right. I'm going here because the store is over here, right? That's what you would do. And if you know you can do 10 push-ups, let's just say that, right? Like you know you can do 10 push-ups and someone claims you cannot, do you need to get down and do 10 push-ups for the person to validate what you are saying is true? Tell me. It's amazing how in life we find ourselves in situations we never thought how much power we put in the other's control and fight so hard to be independent. We hand it over on a silver platter sometimes. Now, if you're a person who says you never did or never do this, kudos to you. We need to take a page from your book. I want us to be aware of our actions. Think before we act. If you find you are giving someone the control to validate who you are, stop right now and pull that control right back. Just excuse me. Open your hand for a second. You have my control. Okay? The controls are in your hand. I need to take that back real quick. I'm sorry I gave that to you by mistake. Do that. Straighten up your back. Stand tall and strong. And even if you take a misstep, that's a lesson learned. You do not require another person to validate who you are. Now, until next time, on A Dose of Nikki, be well.